Good morning everyone. Today I am going to discuss with you controlling process. Before starting the topic, again I will tell you meaning of controlling. Controlling means bringing actual performance nearer to desired performance. Desired performance means our standards. So let's start the controlling process. So students, controlling process starts with first step, setting performance standards. Performance standards are the criteria against which actual performance is measured. Students, performance standards are the basis. These are the criteria against which actual performance of employees is measured. So, standards can be set in two ways, either in quantitative form or in qualitative form. Quantitative standards are such standards which are in the form of quantity, like 100 units should be manufactured by employees, or sales target is 500 crore. Profit objective is 500 lakh. So these are the examples of quantitative standards which are in the form of quantity. Second type of standards can be in the qualitative form, which are in the form of quality. But whenever qualitative standards are fixed, then management should define them properly to the employees so that there should not be any confusion in the mind of employees. So the examples of qualitative standards can be improvement in the reputation of organization, improvement in labor relations, so or you can say improvement in the level of motivation. So these are the examples of qualitative standards. Suppose management has set qualitative standard of improvement in the reputation of organization, then they should clarify it to the employees how reputation will be increased, like by manufacturing good quality products, by utilizing good quality raw material, by making the goods delivered to the customer on time. So how reputation will be increased, that thing will be clear to the employees in case of qualitative standards. So students, in these two ways standards can be set, either in quantitative form or in qualitative form. Now students, I am going to discuss with you about different type of functions, or you can say different type of departments, like production department is there, marketing department is there, human resource management department is there. In different type of departments, what type of standards can be used? Like in the production department, standard can be regarding the quality. What will be the quality of product? Which quality products will be manufactured? Good quality, medium quality, inferior quality. So these can be the standard, or standards can be regarding quantity, that how much quantity of goods should be produced. So these can be the standards, or there can be different kind of standards used in production department. I have given you two examples. Some examples of marketing department can be regarding sales volume. What will be the sales in the coming year? What will be the amount of sales, or sales expenses? What will be the standard of expenses? How much expenses can be incurred in increasing the sales? So these are the examples of marketing department regarding standards. Next, in HRM department, what can be the standard? Like labor relations. What will be the relation of labors with each other? Or one more example regarding labor turnover rate. How frequently employees can change their jobs. So these different type of standards can be fixed in different department. I have given you some examples. Now first step is completed, setting performance standard. First of all, standards are defined. Then second step is measurement of actual performance. Now actual performance of employees will be measured. What in reality employees are doing. And students, if actual performance is measured, after completion of task, that will be that is not a good option. Actual performance should be measured continuously when work is going on. That will be able to give you better result. So what I told you, measurement should be done when work is going on. So there can be different methods for measurement of actual performance. First is personal observation. Managers can continuously observe the performance of employees. In this way, their actual performance can be measured. Other method is sample checking. Managers can test any of the sample manufactured by employees randomly. Any of the item can be picked up by the managers and they can check its quality. So that is also a good method. In this way quality can be checked. Performance report. Managers can prepare performance report of all the employees and in this way they can measure their performance. Managers can calculate different type of ratios like GP ratio, gross profit ratio or net profit ratio. After calculating these ratios, they can check the profitability of the organization. So students, these are the different methods. By using any of the method, actual performance of employees can be measured. After measurement of actual performance, next step is comparison of actual performance with the standards. Now, actual performance of employees will be compared with the standards. Standards we have set in the first step and actual performance is measured in the second step. Now in the third step, actual performance is compared with the standards to find out the deviations. Deviations are the differences between actual performance and standards. Suppose a weekly standard is fixed for the employees that they have to produce 100 units in a week. Then at the end of the week, performance will be compared with the standards and it is found that 90 units are manufactured by the employees. Then there is a difference of 10 units. This 10 will be considered as the deviation. Right? In this way, deviations are calculated. Suppose actual performance is equal to the standard. In that situation, there will not be any deviation. And when there is no deviation and actual performance is equal to the standard, then controlling process will be over there. Because we have achieved our standards. Now we will not move to the next step. But if there are deviations, then we have to move to the fourth step. That is analyzing deviations. Analyzing deviations means study of deviations. Why deviations are coming in the organization. But students, there are some situations when deviations are between the acceptable range. Means deviations can be accepted. Because every time some of the deviations are expected. Because we cannot say whatever target is set, whatever standards are set, they will be achieved accurately. Suppose a standard is set that 1000 units we have to manufacture. Then it is not possible that exact 1000 units will be manufactured. 1 or 2 units can be manufactured more or less. So 1 or 2 units are manufactured more or less. This is called as expected deviations and these are accepted by the organizations. Clear? So while analyzing deviations, we have to check if deviations are within the acceptable range, then such deviations should be ignored. But if deviations are crossing the acceptable range, there are major deviations, then we have to take action. For finding out these type of deviations, two principles are used: critical point control and management by exception. So, firstly I am telling you about critical point control. Students, it is neither economical nor possible to control each and everything in the organization. Each and everything cannot be controlled by the managers. So managers have to focus on key result areas. Key result areas are such very important areas which are responsible for the success of the organization. If there are any deviation in such important areas, that can lead to the failure of organization. So manager should focus on such key result areas. So that's why I told you it is neither economical nor possible to control each and everything. That's why manager should focus on very important areas, key result areas, and if there are any deviations, then action should be taken by the management. For example, 10% increase in the labor cost is more important than 20% increase in the postal charges. So insignificant areas should be ignored, right? So this is about the critical point control, that more focus should be taken on the key result areas, very important areas. So what will be the advantages of utilizing this principle? First advantage is it identifies critical problems. By utilizing this principle, critical important problems will be identified which need timely action. Then if problems are identified, then timely action can be taken to keep organization on the right track. Second advantage is focuses managerial attention on important areas. Now, by utilizing this principle, managers will be very much focused on important areas and they will not waste their time in focusing on less important areas. So, these are the two advantages of principle of critical point control. Now, next principle is management by exception. This principle states that an attempt to control everything result in controlling nothing. It means that if anyone want to control each and everything in the organization, he will not be able in controlling nothing. So that's why if deviations are crossing the acceptable limit, then only management should be informed. If deviations are within the acceptable range, then they should be ignored, right? So according to this principle, if deviations are crossing the acceptable range, then only management should be informed, otherwise not. For example, our organization has set a standard that 2% defective production on daily basis will be considered in the acceptable range. If there are production of defective material of 2% of total output, that will be considered between the acceptable range. This is decided by the management. Then if there are defective production up to 2% of total production, then that thing should be ignored because this is decided. But if defective production is going beyond 2%, say it is 15% or it is 10%, then management should be informed. So this is about principle of management by exception. So what are the advantages of this principle? Routine problems left to employees. Then routine problems will be left to employees, like I gave you example of 2% defective production is there, then employees will manage. This thing promote principle of delegation of authority. We have given authority to employees and they will be motivated. Next benefit, it saves time and efforts of managers. Now by deciding this thing, managers will not be disturbed again and again and they will be able to focus on important matters of the organization. So this is about these two principles. Critical point control says that importance should be given to key result areas, critical areas, and management by exception says that if deviations are going beyond the acceptable range, only then management should be informed, otherwise not. Now after fulfilling this step, we have to move last step, that is taking corrective action. In this step, students, whatever reason we have found in analyzing deviation step, that what is the reason behind deviation. Now that reason will be corrected by the management. Management has to take action so that such type of problem will not occur in coming future. But we have to take care, if deviations are within the acceptable range, then no corrective action will be taken. But if deviations are going beyond the acceptable range in key result areas, only then corrective action will be taken. Otherwise not. And what type of corrective action can be taken? Like, suppose we find that employees are not able in working on the new installed machines. New installed machines are there in the organization. Organization has purchased new machines and output is not good. We found reason, we come to know employees were not able to work on such new installed machine. Then what will be the corrective action? That employees should be given training so that next time that problem will not occur. Or take a more example, we find that output standard is not achieved because our machines were outdated. So in that condition, new machines should be purchased. Or we find that output standard is not achieved because less labor were appointed. Then we have to appoint more labor. So in this way we have to take corrective action so that such type of problem will not come in the coming future. And student, if even after taking every corrective action, if problem is not going to be solved, again there are deviations even after taking each and every corrective action, then it means that there are some problem in our standards. We have set over ambitious standards. Then in that condition we have to revise our standards. Okay, so here controlling process is over. Once again I will highlight the main steps of controlling process. First is setting performance standards. Second is measurement of actual performance. Third, comparison of actual performance with standards. Fourth is analyzing deviations. And last one is taking corrective action. Thank you, students.